Most women over 50 who regret their relationships say the same thing. I knew something was wrong earlier, but I gave him time to prove me right. Not because you were naive, because at 25, a year feels like borrowed time. At 50, a year is time you will never get back. Welcome back to the Female Health Podcast, where we talk honestly about the things that shape your life after 50. I am Dr. Leah Parker, a gynecologist and women's health specialist with over 30 years helping women navigate not just their health, but their relationships too. And today I want to talk about 5 things no woman over 50 should ever accept from a man. No matter how charming he seems, no matter how lonely the nights have been, because these are not just dating tips, they are boundaries that can mean the difference between your peace and your pain. Something changes deep inside us as we age. In our younger years, we made excuses for disrespect. We hoped love could soften a man's rough edges. But after 50, the math changes. Time becomes more precious, energy is more limited, and you simply cannot afford to spend your years in relationships that chip away at your spirit. This is especially true if you have already walked through the fire, whether it was divorce, widowhood, or years spent giving more than you received. Life after 50 should be about rediscovering your worth, not compromising it again in the name of love. By the end of this video, you will know which behaviors look like affection but function like slow poison. You will understand why the same red flags you forgave at 30 become deal breakers at 50, and you will also know if you are looking at your own husband through rose-colored glasses, seeing protection where there is control, seeing honesty where there is cruelty. If this resonates with you, give it a like so more women can find this conversation, and comment below where you are watching from. I want to know who is here, because the women who enforce boundaries are not the bitter ones, they are the free ones. And the first boundary you need to protect hides inside something that sounds almost reasonable. It is disrespect disguised as honesty. He says he is just being truthful. He says he cares enough to tell you what others will not. But then you start noticing how his honesty always leaves bruises. He tells you your cooking tastes like cardboard, but at least you tried. He says your opinion on politics is adorable, because you clearly do not understand economics. He mentions that your body would be perfect if you just lost the weight from your stomach and thighs, and when you flinch, when your face changes, he looks confused. What? I am just being honest. You are too sensitive. I had a patient named Helen who came to see me for something unrelated, but I noticed she had started wearing looser clothes, stopped making eye contact the way she used to. When I asked how things were at home, she said her new partner was wonderful, so honest, so direct. Then she said, he tells me the truth even when it hurts, and I think that means he really loves me. That is not love, that is cruelty with plausible deniability. Real honesty does not strip you down. It does not make you smaller. When someone loves you and needs to tell you something difficult, they do it in a way that creates safety, not shame. They say, I noticed you seem tired lately. Are you okay? Not you look exhausted. You should really take better care of yourself. They say, I would love to try cooking together sometime. Not your meals are bland. You need to learn how to season food. The difference is intent. One builds, one demolishes. And if you are a man reading this, if you have ever said, I am just being honest after your words landed like a slap, let me be honest with you. You are not being truthful. You are being cruel and hiding behind virtue. Honesty does not require an audience to your partner's humiliation. But disrespect is not the only thing that hides behind good intentions. Sometimes control wears the mask of care, and that is where the second red flag lives. The second thing you should never accept is financial exploitation or control. It starts with help. He notices you seem stressed about money, so he offers to take a look at your bills. He says, let me handle this for you. You have enough on your plate, and it feels like relief. Like someone finally cares enough to carry some of the weight. But watch what happens next. Within a few months, he is managing your accounts. He knows your passwords. He pays your bills, handles your investments, maybe even suggests combining finances to make things easier. And every time you ask a question about where your money went, he sighs. He says, do you not trust me? Or I am doing this for you. Why are you being difficult? That is the progression. Helpful becomes managing. Managing becomes controlling. and controlling becomes you stop asking questions because asking feels like accusing. I had a patient whose partner convinced her to add his name to her savings account. For emergencies, he said, just in case something happens to you. 6 months later, she found out he had been withdrawing money for his own expenses. When she confronted him, he said he thought she would not mind since they were building a life together. He made her feel selfish for wanting her own money back. This is not support. Support is offering to help you understand your finances, not taking them over. Support is sitting with you while you pay bills, not paying them for you. Support is teaching you, not replacing you. Real partnership means you both have access, both have clarity, both have equal say. If he gets defensive when you ask where money went, that is not protection, that is control. If he makes you feel stupid for wanting to see your own account, that is not care, that is manipulation. And here is what most women do not realize until it is too late. Once he controls your money, he controls your ability to leave. But financial control is only one way men keep women tethered. There is another kind of hold that is even quieter. And if you stay with me until the end, you will see how the last 3 red flags work together to erase you completely. The third thing you should never accept is isolation from your support network. He starts by making small observations. Your sister does not really get you, does she? Your friends seem kind of negative. They do not understand what we have. And at first it sounds like he is defending your relationship, like he sees something special that others are too blind to appreciate. But then the observations become suggestions. Maybe we should skip the dinner with your daughter this week. Just have a quiet night, just us. Or do you really need to call your friend every Sunday? You have me now, and because you want him to feel secure, because you want to prove this relationship matters, you start saying yes. You cancel plans, you let calls go to voicemail, you tell yourself it is just for now, just until things settle. But things never settle. Instead, your world gets smaller. One of my patients told me her partner would get quiet every time she mentioned spending time with anyone else. Not angry, just quiet, withdrawn. And she found herself explaining, defending, apologizing for wanting to see her own sister. Eventually, it was easier to just stay home, easier to keep the peace than to deal with his mood. That quiet withdrawal is the 4th red flag. Emotional manipulation. He never told her she could not see her family. He just made her feel guilty every time she tried. I just miss you when you are gone. Why do you need other people when you have me? Do they make you happier than I do? Those questions are not about love, they are about control. Because when you lose your support network, when your friends stop calling because you always say no, when your family stops inviting you because he always has a reason you cannot go, you become completely dependent on him. And that is when the 5th red flag appears. The one that shows you exactly how much he values you when your body stops being convenient. What kind of man stays present when your body is not performing? Not when you are dressed up, energized, ready to go, but when you are tired, when you are in pain, when your arthritis flares and you need to cancel dinner, when menopause makes you feel like a stranger in your own skin. I had a patient named Deborah, 72, living with chronic pain. She met a man who seemed sweet at first, attentive, thoughtful, but the moment she mentioned she needed to rest, his tone changed. He would say, "Do not make your health your whole personality, or you just need to push through it. Everyone has something wrong with them." She started hiding her pain just to avoid that look on his face, the one that said, "You are too much work." And one day she fell trying to keep up with him on a walk, because she had not felt safe admitting she needed to slow down. That is what happens when a man treats your body like an inconvenience. You start performing health just to keep him happy. You hide medication. You cancel doctor appointments because he sighs when you mention them. You smile through pain because his patience has a limit, and you are terrified of reaching it. Real love does not sigh when you say you are tired. It does not roll its eyes at your physical therapy schedule. It does not mock your dietary changes or forget when you need help. Real love slows down when you do. It asks how you are feeling and actually wants to know the answer. But here is what I need you to understand. If you are sitting here recognizing these patterns, if you are realizing you have accepted one or more of these red flags, you might be wondering why. Why did I stay? Why did I let this happen? Because you were lonely. Because you thought this was your last chance. Because you spent decades caring for everyone else, and when someone finally offered to care for you, even if that care came with conditions, it felt better than nothing. But staying costs more than leaving ever will, and if you stay with me, I am going to show you exactly what changes when you finally choose yourself. You do not just lose a bad man. You reclaim the parts of yourself that went quiet. Your voice gets louder, your world gets bigger. You stop apologizing for having needs. You stop performing peace just to avoid conflict. The women I have worked with who finally walked away all say the same thing. They wish they had done it sooner. Not because they are bitter, but because the relief was immediate. The moment they stopped managing his moods, hiding their pain, shrinking their lives to fit his comfort, they felt lighter than they had in years. You are not too old to walk away. You are the perfect age to know you should. At 25, you think love requires sacrifice. At 50, you know love requires respect. And any relationship that costs you your dignity, your autonomy, your health, or your peace is not love. It is a slow erasure. So here is the question I want you to ask yourself tonight. Does this relationship add to my life or slowly erase it? Does it make you more yourself or less? Does it feel like sanctuary or performance? If the answer makes your stomach drop, you already know what to do. Walking away is not giving up. It is refusing to give any more of yourself to someone who never valued what you gave in the first place. And the space you create when you leave is not emptiness. It is room for the life you actually deserve. If you want deeper guidance on reclaiming your confidence and understanding your worth after 50, check out the Reconnection Guide in the description. It will help you listen to yourself again. And if this video brought you clarity, leave a comment and tell me which red flag hit hardest. I want to hear from you. Because your voice matters, and the moment you start using it again, everything changes.